Okay, so now we know the difference between distance and displacement. We can go ahead and start talking about speed. So here's just a visualization. So in this first picture, we're moving at a speed of 1 meter per second. So here's our position. So it's kind of like a track with the different marks on it. So, and here's the time up here. So you can see, here's the starting line. And then at 1 meter, it's been 1 second. At 2 meters, it's been 2 seconds. 3 meters, 3 seconds. 4 meters, 4 seconds. 5 meters, 5 seconds. So that one's pretty easy to understand. And then down here, we're moving at a speed of 3 meters per second. So what does that mean? Well, that means we're starting at the same spot, but in the same amount of time, it's only been 1 second. We're already at the 3 meter mark. Okay, and then at 2 seconds, we're at the 6 meter mark. At 3 seconds, we're at the 9 meter mark. At 4 seconds, we're at the 12 meter mark, and at 5 seconds, we're at the 15 meter mark. Okay. So, distance. Remember, that is how far apart two things are. And it's going to be measured in meters. Centimeters, millimeters, something like that in the metric system. Something with a meter in it. Time, you know, that's how long it takes something to happen, right? That's going to be measured in seconds, but it could be measured in minutes or hours, depending how long it takes it. In order to calculate speed, we have to measure both of those things. We need to measure the distance an object moves and how long it takes the object to move, or the time it takes. So speed is defined as how fast something is, and that's probably how you defined it in the past. But now the more technical term for that is our distance per unit time. That's the technical term for it, okay? The equation for speed is going to be exactly what we just said. Speed is distance divided by time. And the abbreviation for that, so speed is going to be S, distance is D, and time is T. Okay, so you're going to need those abbreviations. You will be given this. This is on your formula sheet, okay? But you're going to need to know what all these mean. You're going to need to be able to rearrange your equation, okay? So you're going to be given speed equals distance over time, and you need to be able to solve for distance. So how do you go about doing that? Well, one way you can do that, is if you struggle with equations, is you can put speed over 1 and then cross multiply. Do you remember how to cross multiply? So you multiply these two together and multiply these two together and set them equal. So you would say distance times 1 equals speed times t. So distance times 1 equals speed times t, speed times time. So really, the formula is distance equals speed times time. That's the formula for distance. Distance is speed times time. So the equation for time, we're going to do the exact same thing. So you can, again, put this over 1 and cross multiply. So we just did this, right? We did this times this, and this times this. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Okay, so distance times 1 equals speed times t. But that doesn't give us, we need time by itself, right? We need time by itself. So that's our goal. And so how do you get time by itself? Well, right here we have speed times time, right? Well, how do you get something by itself if it's multiplied by something? We do the opposite. The opposite of multiply is divide, right? So we divide both sides by 3. So these cancel out. So time equals distance divided by speed. So there's your equation. Time equals distance divided by speed. Okay, I will give you the equation for speed. You need to be able to calculate both of the other two. Okay. It's very important to know how to read units of speed, and you're probably going to know most of these, but just to make sure. So, how would you say this? So, obviously that's 9, right? M/S. M stands for meters, right? Slash means per, and S means seconds. Okay, you're going to need to know that for the quiz. What all those things mean. 9 meters per second. Okay, so what would this be? So obviously that's 60. And MI would stand for miles, right? The slash is per, and the HR would be hour. Okay, we have 50. CM would be what? Centimeters? And then the slash is per, and then what do you think YR stands for? Year. And then a lot of people question this one, like, what the heck is that supposed to mean, right? Well, this might be like how much a tree grows in a year, or how much your hair grows in a year, or something like that. Next one. Okay, so 500 yards per minute. Okay, and you're gonna have some practice with this on the assignment on Friday, so make sure you know how to do these. Okay. So you're going to complete the following steps for each problem. I am not going to read these to you. You're going to have them on your paper. Make sure you're referring to them as I go through. And I will refer them as we go through these problems. You, on your paper, you have a little problem. It's from the textbook right here. I went ahead and decided to go with this one right here because some of you won't have a textbook readily available, or some of you are using an online book, and I figured it'd just be easier to look at this one. So it says, what is the speed of a sailboat that is traveling 100 meters in 120 seconds? And so I'm teaching you how to do speed problems, but I'm also teaching you the process of these problems, and it's very important for you to learn how I'm going to grade you, okay? You don't want to miss points every single problem. So the first thing you're going to do is write down what I give you, okay? You can't just write down the unit, or like what I give you, you have to label it. So you obviously want to pick out the numbers in the problem, right? So I have some numbers right here. And then you also want to label what the heck they are. So obviously the couple things that we are studying right now are distance, time, and speed, right? So those are your 3 things that they could be. So we got to figure out what these are. So what do you think they are? Let's see. 100 meters. What is meters measured? Is it time, speed, or distance? Well, I know that meters measures distance. 120 seconds, I know that that measures time. Okay, so when I write this in here, I want to write distance equals 100 meters. And I want to write time equals 120 seconds. Okay. The unknown is going to be what I'm trying to find. It says, what is the speed? Okay. So speed is going to be my unknown. So I can write speed equals question mark. And I want to try to figure out what the heck units that's going to be. Remember the units we were just talking about. Meters per second, miles per hour, yards per year. So we're going to have something per something. So we're going to have, and remember the formula is, we're going to have distance per time. We're going to have meters per second. The rearranged equation. Remember the equation for speed is speed equals distance over time. So rearranged equation just means The unknown is on the left side, and what we're trying to find is on the right side. So if you need to rearrange that equation, do so, but this case we don't. Plugging it in, you're going to plug in numbers instead of symbols. So instead of that D I just wrote down, I'm going to write the number for it. Instead of that T I just wrote down, I'm going to write the number for it. Okay, so you're going to go ahead and enter this into your calculator, and when you do that, you're going to want to make sure you enter the top number first, divided by the bottom number. Okay, so 100 divided by 120. And when you do that, you're going to get 0.83 repeating, and it doesn't matter how many decimals you enter in, definitely, like in this case, it was 0.83, so you definitely need 1. I put the 3 on there because it was 0.83 repeating, so kind of made sense to me. And so we definitely need units here. Okay, so I'm going to put our meters per second. Okay, so answers with units. So how I'm going to grade this, you get 2 points here, 1 for each, and to get full credit, you have to have this distance equals and time equals. If you leave those off, it's just the 1 point. Okay, so you'll get a point off there. 1 point here, 1 point here, 1 point here, and then 2 points here. 1 point for the correct answer, 1 point for your unit. Okay?